Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on my channel. Today is Thursday, which means it's time for a writing video. It is Thursday, right? Yeah, it's Thursday. As you can see, we're a little bit more moved in. Actually, I think we're basically all the way moved in right now. And I will be doing a apartment tour video soonish, at some point in the next soonish. And you can also see Damien through this hole right here. There's Damien! I know that I said that this week was going to be my editing vlog for my agent. However, I realized after I started it that there was just no way I could get it done in a week. Like, the edits are just taking me longer than I thought, so I apologize, but again, that video is gonna be pushed back till next week. It is coming. I am working on it. I am editing and writing and stuff. It's not happening this week. And I apologize about that, but that's just the way that writing goes. Sometimes you plan stuff and it just doesn't go the way you want it to. I know a lot of writers tend to juggle different projects that they're working on. They'll be working on like 2 manuscripts or something like that, you know? And so I was thinking about that and I realized that I actually have quite a few juggling around in my brain. And I thought it would be interesting to kind of just like spill all those ideas out there. So that way, I think that there are other people like me who have all these like half ideas or like ideas I've kind of worked on. And I think that if I knew that there are other people like this, that it might be comforting to me to feel like I'm not crazy for having all these ideas. I don't know where I'm going with this sentence, but you know what I'm trying to say? I want to know if there's other people like me. I'm going to start off talking about the work in progresses that I am actually currently working on in the either near future or like this year, that I know for sure I'm gonna be working on this year. These work in progresses are some of I've started a long time ago, some I haven't even started drafting yet, some I just have ideas for. They're the ones that again I'm gonna work on in the immediate future. So I'm repeating myself. Let's start. I had to write it down because I have a bad memory. If you watch my recent videos, you know that I'm actually working on the book that I'm calling The French Money Pit, which is the Money Pit, the movie from like I don't know if it's from the 80s or the 90s, but the Money Pit movie with Tom Hanks meets Anna and the French Kiss. This book is about a teenager who has to kind of figure out his life after coming back into contact with his estranged father. He gets thrust into this new environment, which is another country, and he's with this estranged father that he hasn't spoken to except for like the odd like birthday card. He's trying to figure out his life now. And that's all I'm gonna say about The French Money Pit. I have definitely talked about the Hunter book before in the past. It's the book that got me my agent, and it deals a lot with serious issues, depression, anxiety, self-harm, things like that. It is a gay YA contemporary. French Money Pit is too. I just realized I forgot to say that. I'm actually going to be finishing up edits. That is the editing vlog I was talking about. If you're not aware of what's going on with my writing videos lately, that is the one I'm gonna be working on next. I'm working on currently, and that's gonna be hopefully next week's video, writing video, and that will go to my agent Rena, who suggested these edits, and then I will hopefully have this story back out to editors in the next like month or so, month or two. What I'm hoping, but it could be a little bit longer because Rena has other clients, but you know. I also thought today about making a video sometime in the future about like what happens after you send your book to your agent. And if you'd be interested in that, comment below and let me know. It's something I might make. I haven't decided yet. So my other one that I haven't actually decided if I'm gonna be coming back to soon, but I felt like I should mention it just because it was the book I worked on the most recently, was The Witch Book, which is like Charmed meets The Craft, but with brothers. This is a book that I've talked about many times because it was, like I said, my most recent work in progress. However, I had to put it away for reasons that I talked about in my last video. Just parts of it became very difficult for me to write. I don't really know how, I guess I could go into a whole video about this maybe at some point, but that book has been shelved for now. And I just felt like I should mention it. That makes 3, right? 1, 2, 3, Yep, that makes 3 books so far. Well, the next 2 books are ones I also want to complete, at least the first draft of this year. We'll see if that actually happens. I don't know if it's gonna happen. The first one that I'm hoping that will be done, I think I'm gonna work on this next after French Money Pit, is a middle grade idea that I have that I've been kind of like throwing ideas at Damien and seeing what sticks, and he can tell me like, oh, don't do that, do this, blah, blah, blah. I've kind of just been like running things by him. And this is, I don't know how I would describe this book, like what I would compare it to. It has to do with video games and a little tiny little gay boy. And that's really all I can say because I don't know what to compare it to. After that, the next book I'm hoping to finish this year is a draft of my fantasy book idea. And so the tagline I've come up for this book is a woman who's trying to change the world while a man tries to reclaim it. And that's really all I can say because again, I don't really know how to describe this one without, I haven't really figured out how to compare it to. I would say Game of Thrones, but like doesn't everyone say their fantasy books like Game of Thrones and like you don't want, like that's not, like no. I actually would like to be some Robin Hobb meets George R. R. Martin. That's like what I aspire to be, because George R. R. Martin's a good world builder and Robin Hobb's a really good character builder. So like I would love to be like a little bit of Sarah J. Maas sprinkled in, you know. If you read fantasy, you know these people. These next 4, you heard me right. That means I have 9 total that I'm discussing in this video, and I think I'm forgetting one because I think there was 10 originally. But the next 4 are books that I have all started, 3 of which I've basically finished and have shelved. So one is, I just call it the Alien book. I do have a tentative title, but I'm not gonna say it because I haven't decided on it yet. But the Alien book follows a alien abduction. And that's really all I can say. That is a science fiction book, but it's based in the real world. Like, it's not heavy sci-fi, and it's just about an alien abduction and the consequences that come with an alien abduction. And that is also a young adult. Did I say young adult? I know I said sci-fi, but I don't know if I said young adult. That was actually a Nano book a few years ago. Rena has read that one, and she actually gave me ideas on how to edit it, and that was actually like over a year ago, and I still haven't done it. So I don't actually know. I would like to come back to it someday, but realistically, if I will, I don't know. But that's why I included it on this list, because this is one, these ones are kind of iffier. Whether or not I'll come back to them, I guess, because yeah. But these are the ones that are like taking up the most room in my brain. Video making any sense to anyone? I don't know. The next one is a young adult Downton Abbey kind of situation, based in an America that was never made America. I feel like when people say that, it's like a speculative fiction, and when people say that, they tend to think like, oh, North and South. No, this is like lots of different countries, as if like Europe came over and settled, and none of them melded together after that. But it's like a Downton Abbey, and it's also very soap opera-y. There's really some, that's the cat, I apologize. It is really melodramatic, but I kind of wrote it like that on purpose because I liked that it was really overdramatic. I really kind of wanted it to read like a soap opera, and because of that, I actually don't know if it'll ever sell. Like, I don't know if it's for the mass audiences. I don't know if people would like that. I really liked it. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed writing it. I don't know if it'll ever be published. That one I don't know about. That was also a Nano novel from years ago. I have a recurring theme of not coming back to Nano novels, which makes me really nervous I'll never come back to the witch book. Another one that I worked on that is on the back burner is a young adult Mad Max, and this is a dual POV dystopian science fiction book. It's basically Mad Max but young adult, and that's really the best and only way I can describe it. I wish I could say more, but that's really what it is. And then last but not least is it's The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, but gay. I mean, all my books are gay. I mean, let's just be honest. And I mean that literally, like almost all my main characters are on the spectrum. The Summer I Turned Pretty, but includes gay stuff and Disneyland. Or something like Disneyland, I haven't really decided yet. This is the least I've worked on, besides the middle grade in fantasy that I'm still like percolating and coming up with ideas for, because I have actually started writing this one, but it hasn't gone anywhere. But I really like the idea. I think about it all the time. These are all the ones that really take up a lot of room in my head. I just remembered number 10, so you guys are lucky. I have this idea for like this epic sci-fi that is more Star Wars. It's not Star Wars, but it's kind of like, that's the closest thing I guess I could think of to describe it to. It's kind of like Star Wars, and it's like this epic. It involves like different alien races and political drama, because something I really enjoy in books is actually politics. I've talked about this in books and in videos before. I really enjoy political stuff, just not real political stuff. I wouldn't read about Democrats and Republicans fighting, but for some reason, this is one of the reasons why I like the first 3 Star Wars movies, like the ones that everyone hates. I like the politics behind them, which so many people say is like the most boring part about those movies. I love it. Watching the downfall of the Senate and watching him slowly take over and just being like, I love that crap so much. I don't know why. I don't know why. I also like the political intrigue and backstabbing in Game of Thrones and like just all those shows that have all this stuff. It's like, I'm like, oh yes, I love it. I love the scheming and the backstabbing and all that. I guess that's why I like soap operas too. I don't know. That's why I want to write a soap opera book also, because I feel like I can be really melodramatic but also have all the politics in it. Circling back to the science fiction, it is just kind of like Star Wars with lots of politics, and like I don't really have anything else to describe it to. That's also a dual POV, and it would be epic if I ever wrote it. Here's the problem, is like I have all these ideas, right? I'm sure some of you can relate to this. I have all these ideas for all these books. I tend to push them to the back burner. I just remembered an 11th book. Moving on, we're not gonna talk about the 11th book because that one's like really far back in the back burner. Tend to have these ideas that I push back in my brain for these other ideas, like put like a stakeholder in the front ideas. Like this is what I'm working on next, which I mean, what you have to do, right? You have to decide on one project. My problem is that all these other ideas are still circulating inside my brain, and like I'm constantly thinking about other ones that I'm not currently working on. And that can be a problem because I'm constantly like coming up with those ideas, and as I do, I get excited and I wanna go work on that project now, but I'm like, I'm working on this project. And some people would say, well, you should work on what you're excited. But like when you have an agent and you have deadlines, even if you don't have an agent, you do have like, you should, I'm a firm believer you should give yourself deadlines just because I think that they help. It doesn't work for all people, but I really think that it helps a lot of people. So I say you should come up with deadlines, but work at your own pace. You should be able to commit to one project and finish it. And I don't think that if you get excited about a different project, that means that the one you're working on isn't worth finishing. Like, does that make sense? Because I feel like some people, like I said, will be like, oh, what excites you? But no, you should be committed to something also. I'm not making any sense, but obviously this doesn't always take, like always doesn't take the forefront because I did put the witch book on the back burner. But that was one that I literally, I came to a stop and I was like, no, I knew. I feel like if you really ask yourself deep down, you know when to move on and when to keep going. I'm just rambling. I just feel like I have this problem where I'm constantly dealing with like almost probably a dozen story ideas, always fighting for what's gonna be in the forefront of my mind and what I'm gonna work on. And even while I'm working on those, let's say like I could churn through these ideas so quickly, I'm still dealing with coming up with other ideas. Like I'll randomly be like, something will happen in life. I'm like, oh, there's another story idea. Here's another story idea. And then I have to somehow make room in my brain for these more story ideas. And I wonder, is being a writer just mean that you always have these story ideas stuck in your head that you're not gonna be able to write? Like, it's kind of like when you have a TBR like me of like 100 books. It's like, will you realistically be able to get to all these? I have all these ideas and it's like, what do I want to make my priority? What story do I want to care the most about at this moment and tell? And I don't know. This is just hitting me that like, as I ramble, I'm realizing like this is a legit problem I'm having. I just thought this was gonna be a cute old video of me talking about my projects. Now I'm like getting real, you know? I'm getting real inside my brain. Like, what stories do you want to put your time and energy into to tell? How do you know what stories are worth telling? That's all I got for you this week. That probably made some of you anxious thinking about all the projects you have stuck in your head. I'd love to hear about them. Comment below. You don't have to tell me specifics. I won't steal your ideas. I have too many of my own to deal with. If you like the video, you can hit the like button below. And if you love the video, you can hit the subscribe button below. I make videos every Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesdays being art videos, Thursday being writing videos. I also am considering maybe throwing in some reading videos on like Saturday sometimes, I don't know. I also do a weekly hangout with my sister Laura over on her channel, which is always linked in the description below. And that's all I have to say for you. Say to you, I'm losing my mind. Thanks for watching and I'll see you all next week.